Alright, so in our last video we took a look at our different types of numbers and we briefly took a look into our natural numbers. So today we're going to take a deeper dive into our natural numbers. And we're going to look at a certain property of our natural numbers called multiples. And if you remember, our natural numbers are our everyday counting and ordering numbers from 1 to infinity. We don't typically include infinity because we don't normally use infinity as an everyday counting number. And the same goes for 0. Zero's not normally included. It is included if we wanted to emphasize our non-negative numbers. Alright, so let's begin. Let's take a look at our multiples. Now, if we wanted to find the multiple of a certain natural number or positive integer, we have to multiply that said positive integer by another positive integer. So for example, let's take the number 2. Alright, so to find our first multiple of 2, we have to multiply that by 1. And we get 2. To find our second multiple of 2, we multiply it by 2 to get 4. And our third multiple of 2, our fourth. And finally we have 5 multiples of 2. So we have our list here of all of our multiples of 2 going from 2 to 10. So let's take another natural number. Let's take a look at another natural number. Say we had the natural number 3. So the same process again. We want to find our first multiple of 3. So we multiply that by 1. We have our second multiple of 3. Our third multiple of 3. Our fourth multiple of 3. And so on. So we have our 5 multiples of 3. So now if we were to look at this list of multiples, we have our multiples of 2 and we have our multiples of 3. Can you now spot a multiple that is common to both of these lists? I'm sure you can. It's number 6. Alright, so we say that 6 is a multiple that is common to both 2 and 3. In fact, we can say that 6 is the lowest common multiple of 2 and 3. Because if we look at our multiples of 2 going from 2 to 6, we can see that there are no other multiples that are common to 3. Alright, so let's take another example, and this time we will be finding the LCM of 3 positive integers. So let's take the numbers 2, 3, and 5. And I'm going to go ahead and list all of our positive our multiples of these numbers going from left to right. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. We'll go up to 22. And we'll list our multiples of 3, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 24. And lastly, our multiples of 5. So we can see that 30 is a multiple that is common to both 5 and 3. And through no stretch of the imagination, we know that 2 is a factor of 30. So 30 must be a multiple of 2. In fact, we know that 2 times 15 is 30, and so 30 would be our multiple of 2, which is common to 3 and 5. In fact, 30 would be our lowest common multiple. So the LCM of 2, 3, and 5 is 30. Now, if we're trying to find the lowest common multiple of prime numbers, these are all prime, 2, 3, and 5 are prime, then we could just multiply them together. So we have 2 times 3 times 5, and that equals 30 as well. However, if the numbers were composite numbers, numbers like 6, 8, etc., composite numbers are numbers that are made up of primes. So composite numbers are numbers whose factors are primes. For example, 6 equals 2 times 3. And these kind of numbers, if we wanted to find the lowest common multiple of, for example, 2 and 6, we can't multiply them together. That we wouldn't be able to find the lowest common multiple. And I'll give you an example now. So say we wanted to find the lowest common multiple of 6 and 4. So I'm going to name the multiples of 6 and 4 going to the left to the right. So we have 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, and 48. We'll go up to 48. And we have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, and 32. So immediately we can see that 12 would be our lowest common multiple of 6 and 2. However, if we just multiply 6 times 4 together, we'll get 24, so we wouldn't get the lowest common multiple. So the method of multiplying the numbers which we would like to find the LCM of together only work for prime numbers. The method of finding the LCM of two or three composite numbers without having to list all of their numbers together would be a method called prime factorization, which we'll look at in another video. Alright, that was quick math, and if you found this content useful, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.